Okay, this is the chart for Tiger Woods, and this video is going to be partly about the mutable angles, and then we're going to look at somebody else's chart. But for people on YouTube, I need to mention two things first. One is that recently, when I upload to YouTube, I have to do it multiple times because I keep getting error messages, and it's really annoying because it takes like 15 minutes to upload, and then you got to do it again, and it can take all day to upload one 8-minute video. Plus the fact that I tend to go longer than the 10-minute maximum per video. So I have to upload parts 1, 2, 3, and maybe even part 4, depending on how long I go. And so with that in mind, this is going to be the beginning of the video that you get here, but it's going to fade out at a certain point, and if you want to watch more, and if you want to watch the rest of the video, you're going to have to go to www.astrologyinaction.org, and I'll put the address on the screen. That's my site, my astrology site, and you'll find everything there on the main landing page under episode 6 of Analytical Astrology. And so that was it. So this is the natal chart of Tiger Woods, and the thing is, today is I think the 10th of December 2009, and Tiger Woods has been in the news recently, and this is going to be episode 6 of Analytical Astrology. And in episode 5 we looked at the chart for Julia, and she has mutable signs in all 4 angles as well. This chart I hope is going to be visible or visible enough on screen. If it isn't, then I'll make a JPEG of this and put it more on screen, but I'd like to sort of draw on here as well, so you can see what's going on. But anyway, so Julie also has, she has 27 Virgo rising and about 23, I think, 27 Gemini up here. That's right, because she has Venus down here. So we're going to look at her natal chart in a bit. But because Tiger Woods has been in the news recently, I took a look at his chart and noticed first the mutable angles. Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius. And so I think we need to know first what in this natal chart gives him world dominance. Because he is at the moment anyway, or recently anyway, he's been the best golfer in the world, and he's won 14 tournaments over the last few years, and you know, he's the greatest golfer of all time, and he dominates tournaments. Well, maybe not in the last couple, but he tended to dominate all the tournaments that he entered. What gives him this strength and this ability? And so I think it's worth all of us looking at this natal chart for Tiger Woods and figuring out what it is that shows that he would be unusual, and he would have great ability and great power and great worldly success. And I think the first thing we have to say is it's not because of particular aspects. If you read articles that people write about why Tiger is in trouble or what he's like, you'll find that a lot of times they begin with an aspect, but it's not the aspect that does it, because for instance, we've got, let's say, Venus at 28 Scorpio sextile Mercury at 26 Capricorn. You can say, well, there's a nice aspect between Venus and Mercury, and this means such and such. But the thing is, everybody born like on the day of his birth and the day afterward will probably, or the day before, probably has that same aspect. You know, so you've got millions and millions of people who've got the same aspect, but there's only one Tiger Woods. And you might look down here, we've got Neptune at 12 Sagittarius, and the moon's at 22, 10 degrees between them. The midpoint is going to be 17 Sagittarius, and Mars is up here at 17 degrees of Gemini. So you've got an opposition aspect between Mars, the planet of personal creative energy, and the midpoint of Venus and Neptune. And maybe you would think, because this is like, maybe you would say that this is the key factor in the natal chart that makes Tiger the dominant individual that he is. But the other thing is, like, this Mars being at the midpoint of Neptune and the moon is going to be in operation for 24, 36 hours, because the planets don't move that fast. And so the other thing is that somebody born a few minutes earlier than Tiger in Los Angeles, we'd have Mars in the 10th and the Moon here in the 4th, which is an angle and a stronger position. And it's going to have the same Mars opposite the Moon Neptune midpoint. You know what I mean? So there's anybody born in the world at that time is going to have that same midpoint aspect. And there's a lot of people born at the same time. So what's going on? And I think that we can't look to aspects to give us the information that we want, because then a lot of people would have the same aspect. And if it's the aspect that's making it happen, then there has to be more than one Tiger Woods or more than one individual who comes to prominence. But there isn't. And there haven't been other people born on the same day, around about the same time, who have achieved great worldly success the way Tiger Woods has. So I think it has to be something that changes quickly, that changes from, let's say, from minute to minute. And I think that there's two things I want to look at in this natal chart. And one is, and again, if you remember Julia, you're going to see something similar, because down here, look at the Moon. It's there at 22 Sagittarius, the Moon. And we've got the fourth house card of 23 Sagittarius. The midheaven's 23 Gemini. So the Moon is opposite the midheaven. And 24 Virgo, 24 Pisces. The Moon is square the ascendant and midheaven, and opposite the midheaven, it's square the ascendant and descendant, opposite the midheaven and conjunct the fourth house cusp, as did Julia. And so I think one of the things with her, I was saying that mutable angles make the person restless and changeable, more so than you might expect. And so what we have here is, the thing is, we know that Tiger has had the success that he's had, and this seems to be a reasonably accurate natal chart because it's from a birth certificate or birth record. So we have to look at this chart and figure out what here shows the power that he has. And I think this is worth looking at, this Moon in 22 Sagittarius, because it is in aspect, a close aspect to the angles. Also, the 22 Sagittarius is the Leo decanate. Now, we know that the Moon reflects the Sun. So this Moon in Sagittarius is reflecting the Sun in Capricorn. And maybe that's the ambition that Tiger has to succeed. Plus, the Moon at 22 Sagittarius is in the Leo decanate, ruled by the Sun in Capricorn. So the Moon reflects the Sun and is also in a decanate ruled by the Sun. So even though we've got the Moon in mutable angles, behind it we've got the power of the Sun in Capricorn. So he struggles when he's little, but he gets stronger as time goes by. And he gets younger as time goes by as well, because Capricorn, they're born like old men, and they get younger as time goes by. So that's part of what's going on here. Plus the fact that the Moon's in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, up here in the 7th house, at 15 degrees of Aries. And that's the Leo decanate as well. So even though we look at this, look at the angles and see mutable, 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 the Moon's in a mutable sign, yet behind it all, and maybe disguised or hidden or certainly functioning and churning out power, is the Sun in Capricorn, ambitious Capricorn. And the Sun's in an angle as well. So I think that because the Moon makes such close aspects to the angles, and the Leo influence or the Sun's power reflected by the Moon, that can be why Tiger has the ability that he has, even though you might want to see the Sun and Leo conjunct in midheaven for power in the world. But the other thing is, with Tiger, the Moon's conjunct the fourth house cusp. That means that he can